Okay, good afternoon. This is the October 3rd meeting of the Bylaw Review Advisory Committee. We're calling the meeting to order at 2:06. All right, good. So on to public comments. No one here.
No public.
We're waiting. Yes, we have. I'm sorry, I should have introduced Chris Files, Virginia Ahart. And we're waiting for Lucy Dalton, and unfortunately Janine is not going to be able to be with us today. So let's just begin by looking at the minutes.
I don't have them.
Yeah, they're on the back. I put everything, I do back to back, so the agenda's on one side. Oh, you got the one.
I got the copy of it. Thank you.
See, I took it off
That's the website.
Yeah, no, I forget to do this.
So,
Sorry. Wait for a second here.
2:06 must be the magic hour. Last time.
Gotta play the lottery. This looks fine to me. I don't see anything
Okay.
in particular.
And the Easthampton. Okay. Do I have a motion? Oh, we can't vote because
Can't vote.
Lucy's not here, so let's set it aside.
We'll set it aside until she
Hopefully
comes.
she has read it. All right, back on the other side. And again, we can talk about it. I will give you copies of,
I have mine from last night.
all right.
Yep.
Whoops. There we go.
Sure, but,
Copies of the latest edition of the recommended charge to the Bylaws Committee that came through the Select Board last evening, and we need to go through it and get back to them. And I don't think we need, I don't want to wait one more meeting, so I'd like to at least get this finished today.
I think we could, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And our choices here, ignore the thing, these are my scribbles on top. November, this will be discussed at the November Select Board meeting. It has no meaning for us here today. But anyway, to begin with, the title of the committee, do we prefer A or B? Bylaw Review or Bylaw Ad Hoc Committee?
I think if they're going to vote on this and make us kind of official, it should be the review and not the
Okay.
ad
And
hoc.
get rid of the ad hoc.
Okay,
I would
so
agree.
I'll
Yeah.
circle A. And then when Lucy
Yeah,
comes,
we'll
we
have
can
to
go
kinda go
through
through
it
this.
and again.
And vote.
But we
Yeah.
can talk about some of
Right.
these things.
Sure.
And then, obviously, in section 1, we're going to be consistent, so it's going to be A in 1. And then,
5 appointed members.
yes, 5
Yeah.
appointed members, and the town clerk as ex officio voting member. So we're really 6. All right.
But do we want to be registered voters or residents? I mean, that's another multiple choice there, so.
Yes.
I think residents, and they should be voting members of the town, registered voters, but
But if they're not registered to vote in the political elections, does not mean that they're not able to vote in the town elections, which I think,
Yeah.
is that right?
oh, I
I
don't know.
that. I don't know.
Because I think that's a voter list that
The voter list,
if the thing,
Well, I don't
the
know.
big book you could get.
yes, yeah, no, the street list, whatever.
Is a voter list, I think, not just resident. Well, maybe it's
But if you're
resident.
just a resident and you weren't registered to vote, can you vote in town, on town matters? Okay, we'll have to wait for Lucy.
Yep, don't know. Good question.
You
All right.
certainly couldn't in primaries because you
Right.
get to have that up front.
All right, why don't we just take then this time here, just to, Virginia hasn't seen this version. If you want to, we can read it together, and then hopefully Lucy will come, that we can, she can answer that question for us.
Well, the terms,
Yes,
many of the committees are appointed that way,
staggered terms.
staggered terms.
Initially,
And
yes.
this is how you get to the staggered terms.
Okay, but that wasn't the case with this committee,
No.
so.
We never had terms, we were just
Right.
this ad hoc
Just there,
committee.
yeah. And I think now with my appointment as a liaison from the select board, I'm on a 3-year,
Yeah, so
so,
you're 3
Yeah.
years.
yeah.
I'm past 3 years, so is Virginia. Janine is approaching, as is Lucy.
Well, Lucy, being the town clerk,
Will always be here, yeah.
Will always be here.
Okay, so,
But would that mean, just out of curiosity, would that mean that whenever we find a replacement for Jonathan, that person might be a 1-year?
a 1 or a 2
Or a
year,
2-year.
just
Yeah.
to
Okay.
stagger.
Just a stagger?
And then I guess we should each, they should designate a term for each of us who have been on it,
Yeah,
so that we just go
We get
forward
into
with
this.
this.
right.
So we'll ask that they designate, we'll give them the list of people, and then they can designate the terms. Or we can, okay. All right, now, multiple choice. You made it,
Hey, there we go.
there we go.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. I know you have to leave early, and,
Oh, well, as soon as we can get done.
yes,
The
okay.
better.
I understood.
Is Janine not coming?
No, she's not. She sent me an email
Okay.
earlier this morning, so. Anyway, we opened the meeting. Thanks
Okay.
for coming. And we are on to, let's go back. On the back of the agenda that I gave you are the minutes,
Oh, yes.
okay? So if we can go back, we've looked them over. If you want to take a few minutes to look
Okay,
them over, and then
sure.
maybe we can put it to a vote.
Yep. This looks fine to me.
Yeah.
Okay? All right, do we have a motion?
I'll have a motion to accept the minutes as
Second?
read,
Okay.
as written.
All in, any more discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay. I'll try to write the
I was
notes.
just gonna say, is anyone taking notes? I'll take some.
Would you?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so
Okay. I'm gonna have to do it on this.
item 3 on the agenda passed. Okay. The next thing at your place, Lucy, you will find,
Yeah, I
the
just
li- yeah.
motioned. Give me a second. Okay.
Okay, like I said, the next thing
Yep.
is the latest iteration from Ed of the composition and the terms for this committee. Since there's some real fuzziness about the original charge, and et cetera, et cetera. So, anyway, he's laid it out pretty clearly. He's given us choices here. Do we want to be called the bylaw review or the
Right.
bylaw committee?
Right.
So among ourselves, I don't know if you agree with this or not, we decided to have them call ourselves the bylaw review committee. That
I like
talk is long overdue. And we were at the second point in section 1 as to who can be on this committee, registered voters, residents, or other. And our question for you, and hopefully you'll know, is whether or not people who are residents of the town who are not registered voters can serve on committees.
I believe they can. I would like to clarify that, but I just read something that said that
Okay.
residents can be, but
Okay.
I want to clarify that, so
Okay.
let's not,
When we were talking, I remember we were talking about the street list or whatever that gets put out every year.
Yep.
Now, is that a list of only registered voters, or is that everybody in town?
that's everyone.
Everybody in town.
Except for police officers.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah.
So,
That includes inactive voters and active voters.
And
Over the
non-registered
ages-
voters.
over the age of
With that
16 or...
inactive
Over the age,
call,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so that's, okay. That
No.
doesn't help us answer the question, I guess, though.
Of whether or not they can serve on a committee, yeah.
Yeah,
All right, but if we find out
Yeah.
that they can,
what's our preference?
what's everyone's
Yeah,
preference?
yeah.
I would still like it to be registered voters.
I would like it to be registered voters.
Yeah.
Somehow, if you can't register to vote,
Yeah.
even
Well,
if you don't come all the time,
Yeah,
Yeah.
or at all.
Well, and I think given the sort of purpose of this committee, I mean, to vote on bylaws for the town, I mean, one would think
okay.
you'd have more of a vested interest if you were a voter rather than just a
Well,
resident.
especially because bylaws are going to go to town meeting.
Right.
And go to the attorney general. So if you're going to, if you're a registered voter and you're going to vote on a bylaw to be passed,
Yeah.
I think a registered voter should be.
Okay, so that kind of nullifies we don't need the answer
Yeah.
to the other
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Since we're going with
Although out of
registered
curiosity.
voters. But
Yeah,
yes, I
oh yeah,
would-
definitely, I will, yeah. I just read something about that because someone had a question about historical.
Okay,
Okay.
now we're down to terms. Obviously, when it started, I don't know that people were appointed for staggered terms the way they
Yeah.
do when they initiate any new committee, so that
Right.
everybody doesn't come and go at the same time.
Right.
So we're just going to have to give them the list of who the members are and let them assign terms. You're in for
Yeah.
life.
No, not life.
You're working life.
Working life.
Okay. So then the other 4 or 5 of us.
Okay.
All right, so
Yeah.
we'll just let them
Yeah.
decide
Yeah,
that.
well,
I'm okay with that.
Mine's been designated.
Yours has been done.
Yeah, it's a 3-year,
Okay.
as far as I know.
3-year. So then they would have to, again, they would probably have to stagger the others just to get us on the right cycle. So I'm fine with that. Everybody else fine? Okay.
I'm fine with that.
All right. Now we were going to multiple choice. Okay? And this is basically, the meat of all of this. This is the charge. So we would do A, B, or C, D, all the way through, wow, all the way, that's a lot of choices. I'm assuming we don't pick just one, I'm assuming we can pick several. I think A and B versus C and
C and D,
D
yeah.
and is how it's set up. So if we could, if you want to take a look at this. A is the committee shall review the town general bylaws on a regular basis to ensure their consistency with any applicable law and recommend amendments and new bylaws to the select board.
And that goes then with
Okay.
C.
And versus C, which is the committee may propose to the select board for inclusion in the warrant for the next annual or, well, no, let's just finish this, because it really isn't the same. I don't know why or is there. Because that has to do with meeting frequency. Meet on a regular basis. Okay. Then B is the committee may propose to the select board for inclusion in the warrant for the next annual or special town meeting any amendments to the general bylaws that the committee recommends should be made so as to resolve inconsistencies within the bylaws or with applicable law.
That's B and C.
That's A and B.
Okay, but B and C are the same on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
A stands by itself.
A stands by itself,
But-
so it's
The
B
choice
or
was
C.
B or C.
B or C.
Right.
But they're the same writing.
Yeah. So C would be the...
Yeah, so the main difference here is in B, you have to the special town meeting any amendments. And then in C, it's any amendments or additions.
Oh, right, okay.
That's the only change, is
Yeah.
added or
Okay.
additions. And I asked last night, actually, I said, what's the difference between amendments and additions?
I remember you
To
said
me,
that,
it's like,
yeah.
it's the same thing. He said, oh, I must have just written that late at night, so, but I don't know. If amendments or additions gives us broadness, I think I would favor a broader scope.
I mean, given the
Yeah.
work that we've already done.
Yeah.
We've done additions, so
Yeah,
I would want to go with C.
I would agree with.
So we're good with A.
Yeah, so A is good.
I'm
Good with
A.
C.
I'm good with C.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So off to D.
D's by itself, I think.
The committee shall assist any town board, officer, administrator, member of the public if requested by the select board in drafting amendments or additions to the general bylaws that will be proposed for inclusion in the town meeting warrant.
Sure. Why not?
I'm okay with that. But the way this says to me,
Select board.
that the select board would have to make the referral of that
Yeah.
individual or department to us, that they could not come directly.
Right, yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So do we want D or not?
Chris? Lucy said yes.
Yeah, no, I think it's fine, yeah. Was there an issue though about whether they came directly or to the select board?
I think it's pretty clear here.
It's
that-
by the select board
It's by
here,
the
but
select
is there
board,
any reason to not go with that? I mean,
No, not for me.
That's fine.
I'm fine with it. I think they need to be aware of what issues
Yeah.
are.
Right, because they're gonna
Yeah.
have, because after the actual amendment or addition is made, it's gonna go back to
back to
select
them
board
anyway.
anyway.
Yes.
Right.
So
So I
they should
think
be aware.
as,
Yep.
as a step in the process, it should
Okay.
start, yeah.
that's fine.
So D is good. All right, then E, whenever practicable, the select board may submit to the committee all proposed amendments or additions to the general bylaws prior to their inclusion in the warrant for any town meeting. The committee shall meet and review all such proposed amendments and additions and shall report to the select board its recommendations as to their form and consistency with existing provisions of the general bylaws and as to their placement in the general bylaws. So
Yep.
he already had included amendments and
In
additions.
addition,
This one.
yeah, and it's interesting, as I'm hearing this read now, the additions to me means new,
Yes,
new
right,
things,
yeah.
not just amendments. So that
Right.
goes back to like
Yes.
a new bylaw, for example, or something.
Exactly.
Which I think that takes care of that better.
So any discussion around this one?
I think it's fine.
Or is everybody okay?
I'm good with this.
Virginia?
Yeah.
I think as to their placement in the general bylaws, that just means the numerical
Right.
ranging, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think. All right, F, the committee chair or some members of the committee designated by the committee shall report to the select board and town meeting its recommendation on any article in the warrant that proposes an amendment to the general bylaws. The moderator shall call upon the committee for such report prior to the discussion or vote on such article.
So that's basically whoever wants to speak upon right from our committee. So,
But there's an or then, so F or G.
And that's the same thing with amendment or addition.
Yeah.
he just added the word addition in there, so I would say G is fine, take out.
It's the same wording.
Not go with that, yeah, right? 'Cause it's pretty
Yes,
exactly
so
the same.
amendment or addition.
Yeah.
To the
So that
general
would be our
bylaws.
correction to be consistent, okay?
Yeah.
So,
And everybody is okay with
Yeah.
it being anyone?
Yeah, if they're at the meeting.
Yeah,
Right,
no,
you
that's
know,
it.
yeah, so,
Okay, so I'll circle F as an inclusion. Or, let's look at G, because that was the alternative. The committee chair or some members of the committee designated by the committee shall report to the select board and town meeting its recommendations on any article in the warrant that proposes an amendment or addition to the general bylaws.
Right, that's what we
So
just-
that was
yeah.
it, that was what we,
So we want-
we're not doing F, we're
Cross
doing
off
G.
F.
Cross off,
We're doing G.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
H, the committee shall assist in preparing from time to time the publication of the general bylaws, including all amendments and additions thereto. What does that mean?
that I don't, I think that's too many.
Photocopying them?
Yeah.
Or maybe
I wonder if means updating.
post-dating the
Posting.
website? or-
Because Janine did all that. She, when the bylaw passed, she added it, I believe she added it to the general bylaws. But I'm not
Yeah.
sure how it worked. I don't know if Velda did it, but I believe Janine did it because we got the okay from the Attorney General. We posted the
Yeah.
letter decision from them, and then we added it to the general
Well, it
bylaw.
just says that the committee, so us,
Right.
shall assist in preparing, so we're not totally responsible for
Right,
it. So
that's,
it's-
so, I mean, that would be, yeah, I mean,
I think
because we all have access to the Dropbox, I think one person just doing the addition and,
Yeah,
But the-
but this is talking for a general publication,
right, which we have.
but how many people does that reach?
Do you think this is
I think
giving out?
I think they're saying a general publication, one that anyone that wants a copy can get.
Well, they're right on our website, so people can print them off.
Okay. And then for people who don't use a computer,
Yeah, can come and get a copy in our office.
okay. For myself, I would think that I would want to be more specific in saying the ex officio representative from the town clerk's office
Yeah.
would be the person.
To do this.
Yeah, I mean, this, depending on what he's meaning by this, I mean, this is a little bit of vague, you know?
Well, what we had before was just anytime a new one was added, it was stuck at the end. And I think he's saying
Right.
getting it into the shape.
Well, when we get to number 7, I will
Yeah.
tell you.
But I think publication here, I guess I took it to mean, to publish once they're finalized, to get them up on the website.
That's what I thought too.
And
That's
yeah,
how I read it.
yes.
We can now assume that.
Yeah, but it could be too, we could just add, the committee shall assist the town clerk.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's fine. It's
I mean,
fine.
if
Shall
that's-
assist the,
Yeah, I just don't want people to think that we're going to be handing out them
Yeah.
like the town reports.
Town
You know what I
clerk.
mean? So,
And
We
then-
don't even do that, do we?
okay, so if we add to the committee shall assist the town clerk, comma,
yep,
the ex officio, as ex officio member.
yeah.
Okay. In
In
preparing
preparing, yeah,
from
yeah,
time to
yeah.
time the publication.
Which would mean getting it into the right place and renumbering if we
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I think that
that's, I
just
think,
clarifies it a little bit better.
It's very
we can
important.
do, yes.
Instead of having them.
Because the town clerk's office is really the keeper of
Where-
all the documents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where the responsibility. Okay, okay. All right, now, I. We already know we're going with A.
Yeah.
Okay. So the bylaw review committee shall hold one or more public hearings which shall be posted publicly and published for each of 2 weeks preceding a hearing in a newspaper of general circulation in the town. The purpose of these hearings is to provide a forum for interested parties to engage in discussions and clarification of all proposed amendments or new additions to existing bylaws. These hearings shall be held prior to town meeting in conjunction with a representative or representatives of any group or individual planning to propose a new or amend an existing bylaw and submit said proposed bylaw changes for inclusion in the town meeting warrant.
So first of all, I'd like to say that if this means, department heads or board members that the article or the bylaw has to do with, if they want to come to the meeting that we have, is that what he's saying, or are we going to have a separate hearing?
No, it sounds like a
Because
separate
honestly,
public hearing.
This is a-
it costs money to put ads in the paper. Who's going to pay for those ads to put the hearings in? You know what I mean? And if it's 2 weeks, I mean, they charge a lot per word for the Gazette.
So we would have to run it for 2 weeks prior?
I guess
Every
that's
day
what
for
he's
2
saying.
No, no,
weeks
no, no,
prior,
no,
or
no.
just a
No,
2
just
week
on a month,
notice?
yeah.
No, it's a notice.
Zoning.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Just one notice 2 weeks in advance?
Like with zoning, we run it on the first Monday and the second Monday of the week, 2 weeks before
Yeah.
the hearing, so.
And CPC,
I think
you
that's
have to
what he's
post as
saying.
well.
We have to post ours for 3,
Oh, well,
and I've got to figure out when that's going to be.
Yeah.
3 weeks,
Prior to,
but not every day.
No,
No, just
3
the,
weeks.
yeah, just
The one
But just
time.
whatever day it is.
3 times
3 times
in
Right.
the 3-week period.
in the
Oh,
3-week
the 3
period.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we
prior
need,
to
so
our
does this
meeting.
mean that once a week for 2 weeks, or does
I
it
would-
mean once 2 weeks in advance?
Yeah, that's a good question.
For each of
That's
2
a-
weeks, I think it's,
Each of two-
I think it's 2
2
weeks twice, so I
Preceding
mean,
a hearing.
each week times
week.
2.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yep. So
Yeah.
once each week for 2 weeks.
Yeah, but that's only if there's a new bylaw.
Right.
Right, so,
Yeah.
shall be posted publicly for each of 2 weeks, so,
Yeah,
so, yeah,
yes, so that's it, each of 2 weeks.
So you could,
Monday and Monday, you know.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
It's, you know,
That's
twice.
what zoning does, yeah.
Right.
it would be
And
good to
confound
know.
Planning,
others and-
yeah, planning does that,
those
yeah.
two, yeah.
It would be good to know if the group that is proposing it has a budget that they're willing to pay for this. Because we do, community preservation
Yeah.
does.
Any idea what a little ad, I mean, it just has to say a few
They're
things.
expensive. Yeah, I mean,
We
as,
We didn't do that last year, we were supposed to, because we're supposed to do it every year. But the last time, it was, I think, close to $100 for the 3 printings.
and for zoning, depending on how many words, because they charge you
Yeah.
by the words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last one they did was, I believe, $450.
Whoa.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
and
what
when
I-
I did them, when I was in
Yeah.
zoning work,
Okay.
I had to
Yeah,
ask.
but I think that there's usually lots and lots.
Right, it's a long one, yeah. I mean, this is
Information,
like
whereas these could be-
2 lines, it could be,
Yeah.
yeah.
We just announced the meeting, we
Yeah.
don't have to put any content.
Right, public
Right.
hearing on the subject of
Of-
drones,
okay.
whatever.
Right, bylaws regarding, yeah,
You know, I think that would be.
So we'll ask the
It
question,
would be-
who pays
Yeah.
this week?
Sure.
yeah.
And,
The department,
Yeah.
you know, affected by the bylaw
Right,
change?
right.
yeah,
Or
that's a good.
Yep,
general government somehow?
right.
Yeah.
General
Yeah.
fund.
Yeah, because it could be, I mean, it could be just a citizen who's not part of any board, right?
Because they
that
can bring something
Yeah.
up.
comes forth, so
Right.
I can't think of a topic of one, but offhand.
Yeah.
Well, but it's a possibility.
Right.
Yeah, so that's a good point. So we'll ask that question. But otherwise, with that answer, we're okay with this. Because I'm sure this is tied into the state regulations around this.
I would say 1 public hearing. And if there are 2 or 3 bylaws, get them all in that because it's before.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, because if we have 3 bylaws and we can have 1 public hearing and have the representatives,
three.
you know,
Yes.
instead of
One
having.
for each.
Yeah, one every
Yeah.
week, you know.
Are you getting the impression?
Well, he
No,
wrote
it's
shall
not
hold
one
one
or
or more
more.
public, yeah.
So hearings you have prior to
Well,
meeting.
I mean, I would leave that in there, but the practice might be
Right.
that we would just cover all the changes
Right.
in one meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep, yeah.
So like, for example, help me out here. So we've gone round and round with the mandatory recycle, well, that is coming up for town meeting.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a change or new or something. It hasn't had any public hearing before going to town meeting, though,
No.
right?
Well, Jerry was here to speak on it, right?
Right, but that's not
And
the same as...
Randall.
But we haven't
Right,
posted
but it
it.
wasn't public,
Yeah,
so.
or
Yeah.
the new
That's the
permit thing.
Do our
right?
current bylaws say this?
No.
That's why I'm just wondering, because it...
No, that's why
I
I
mean,
was.
so this hasn't taken effect yet?
No,
No,
no.
but
Probably.
where I'm getting confused is when you get down to the bottom of it, and the last sentence, okay, in conjunction with a representative of any group or individual planning to propose a new, so a brand new one, I get it, that should be a public hearing. It's a brand new thing, we've never had it for, okay? Or amend an existing bylaw, that's what's confusing me right there, because
Yeah.
why would we do a public hearing on it? When we're making all these little
Yeah.
amendment things that we're doing now, we wouldn't,
Well-
And submit to.
that seems a little weird to me.
These
But-
hearings shall be held
If it's a-
in conjunction with representatives of any group
Propose a new
planning
one.
to propose a new
I
or
don't,
amend an existing bylaw.
So if it's a brand new bylaw, I could certainly see a public hearing. But if
Yeah,
we're
me
amending,
too.
If it's
Yeah.
being tweaked?
amending an existing bylaw,
And submit said proposed bylaw changes to who for inclusion, to the select board, for
Okay.
inclusion in this town meeting
Yes,
list.
yes.
So, yeah.
there's a lot of, and I don't think we should have this part about proposed. That's like opening it up and say, Well, come on, guys, you think you might want this, and we have to have a public hearing?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying, it could open up.
Yeah.
And we've got some people who might just love doing that kind of thing.
But they're entitled to do it anyway.
They can write it up
Yes.
and bring it to us, but to
Yes.
say, I need a meeting to talk to you in case I might want to do this, that's open there.
Oh, I was
to propose-
reading it.
well,
I was
okay.
reading it that they have
Yeah.
proposed it.
Yeah.
And they're sharing that information with the public.
Or might,
How about, instead of saying planning to propose, how about proposing a new,
Yes.
yes.
not planning on
Yes,
it, but
yeah.
doing it?
Right.
Who are proposing.
Proposing.
Individual proposing a new,
Yeah.
Right, because it says, in the next line, and submit said proposed bylaw
Okay.
changes. So,
Okay.
yeah.
to the
That
select.
that
Right.
cleans it up, Chris.
Yeah.
I
They
think.
gotta have something
Yeah.
in their
Yep.
hand.
Right,
Good
not,
point.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Okay, and then we're inserting, proposed bylaw changes to the select board
Right.
for inclusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
Okay, so we just need to find out who pays, that's our only question there?
yes.
I just think we should
Oh, and then,
have some
yeah,
kind of.
well, and then that point about amend the existing bylaw, I think that, do we want to cross that out? Do we want to, proposing a new?
Well, I mean, it depends. I mean, it could be a radical amendment.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and it would almost look new to
Yeah.
people.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so
Yeah.
I would leave that in.
Yeah.
But I just wouldn't want it to be that we're having to hold a hearing for every little rinky-dink amendment.
Yeah.
So maybe we can put in a word like
What, substantive?
substantial, substantive, significant, I mean, something,
Significant. yeah,
something of
like
that,
yeah.
the definition is in everybody's mind,
Or-
obviously, but I just
Okay.
think we need to qualify that a little
Or
bit.
substantive or significant amendment.
Yeah, significant.
Which word do you choose? Significant?
No, substantive, I don't know. Virginia, you're the English teacher.
Yeah.
You're the teacher.
I think I'm a grammarian, but I'm not as good as I should be.
Trying to like read it in my head.
Let's read this.
Individual proposing a new,
Or
A new or,
proposing a new or,
that's a good word for.
I have no problem with that.
or
with
significantly
what, the way it
amending.
is?
New additions to existing.
A new or, Chris is saying, even if it's just a slight amendment, do we have to have
Yeah, I'm trying to- I'm
we
trying to make-
change an is
Yeah.
to an are?
I'm trying to make the amendments part stronger.
Yeah.
So any group or individual proposing a new or significantly amending an existing
Yeah.
bylaw?
Right, can we put bylaw next to a new?
Yeah, I mean,
I
the
think
wording
we
is a
put
little weird there.
new bylaw
Proposing a new bylaw.
Or amending, or
Or
significantly.
Significant amendment.
Yeah, or
if you choose.
substantively.
Yep, amend an existing bylaw. Yeah, pick a word.
It just seems like,
Yeah.
I don't know, which one's stronger? Significant, substantive?
Yeah. Pick.
Substantive.
Okay.
Substantive?
Substantive. Yeah.
Substantively, amending an existing bylaw. How's that?
Yeah.
Needs to be worthwhile.
Yeah, exactly, and that was my point,
I mean,
because
it shouldn't-
otherwise I think we're gonna,
It shouldn't be like, well, there's 3 people on this committee and we think it should be 5.
Yes.
That's not,
no, I think that's good, and adding bylaw in after new.
Yeah, I did too.
I think that, otherwise
Yeah.
that's kind of a funny wording in
Yeah,
that
it's
sentence.
just a new what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good, all right. Alrighty.
On an annual basis, the bylaw review committee will present a report of its actions in the town report.
But it's for the prior year,
Yes.
Yeah.
so, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it would just be consistent with
With the annual
with the term of the
report.
everybody
annual
wants to
report.
do it,
Yeah.
so why
Yep.
not?
Yep.
Okay, so we're done with page 1 here. Now, meetings and proceedings. The committee shall meet on a regular basis as established by it, but not less frequently than A, once a quarter, B, once a month, C, twice a year, D, other. Special meetings may be called by the select board, chairman of the committee, or majority vote of the committee. Minutes shall be kept of all meetings. The committee may establish its own rules of procedure, including those governing the conduct of its meetings.
Well, I think we should say other. Or at least once a month.
I was going to go with once a month.
Yeah.
Because
I
at
think-
least once a month.
Not less frequently. than
Not
once a
less
month.
frequently, yeah.
But, I mean, once this gets rolling, I mean, once we're done with this.
Yes,
How frequently should they meet? Once a month if there's nothing? It
I
doesn't
know.
make any sense.
That's why I thought other, because then we can pick
Or quarterly,
like four or
or twice a year.
Twice a year is too few.
Too few.
twice a year is too few, I think, too.
Bi-monthly?
We could
Yeah,
insert,
that might be better.
Every 2 months.
Once a quarter,
Yeah.
bi-month.
okay, so
Bi-monthly.
we'll add our own. So D, the other becomes bi-monthly.
Yeah.
Okay,
And that means every 2 months, right?
Right.
Not-
Yeah.
Not twice a month. Right.
that would be semi-monthly.
Okay, thank you. I was getting confused.
Make sure, no, I think that would be enough,
Yeah,
if nothing more than to just,
okay, so we're taking D.
So you, at
Check
least
with
touching
it.
base with what's going on, and if there are changes. I mean,
Right.
it may not be not new, but there might be something coming out of state that we have to.
Right?
Yeah,
That's right.
that we have to do, yes.
Yeah.
So not less frequently than bi-monthly, so.
and if there's more work, we can do
More
we can have
often,
Right.
yes.
Yep.
But this says not less frequently then,
Yeah.
so it gives you the
Yeah.
option of doing more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, now, quorum requirements, the committee shall not meet or conduct business without the presence of a quorum. A majority of 4 voting members shall constitute a quorum. The committee shall approve its actions by a majority vote of those members present and voting. That's right.
yeah,
Good.
no problem.
So, yeah, so anytime there are 4 of us here,
Right.
whether we have 4 members, 5 members, or 6 members, a quorum would
Right,
still
as
be
long
4.
as four, as long as we have four, we have a quorum.
Right,
Yeah.
Right. Now, I'm just thinking, you swore me in for this one, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I am a voting member. I'm just kind of, am I a voting member? I am, because I'm not on Concom.
No?
I'm a delegate to Concom.
Right.
I am on CPC, but I'm not.
Right.
I was getting confused as to when I'm a voting
There are too
member and when I'm not.
okay. So we're okay with this?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Yeah. Virginia?
No, I just was wondering, we need another one right now, right? So that there would be 6.
Right.
And
But regardless of the number of
Yeah,
members,
regardless
the
of how
quorum
many there
still
are.
is 4.
As long as we
Yeah.
have four, we have a quorum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
gee, I wish ours said that for community preservation.
What did you say?
Well, we just, it has to be 50%. So you got 9,
So
you gotta have 5.
you need 5.
Wow.
And sometimes it gets pretty, yesterday I
It was
was
close.
skating on the edge because I knew Chris was gonna have to leave. And I wasn't sure who was going to be there. But it turned out there were 6 when we began the meeting, so.
All right. And then section 6, election of officers. The committee shall annually, at its first meeting of each fiscal year, elect the chairman, vice chairman, and secretary for the ensuing year. Annually, the committee shall provide the select board with the names of the officers for the upcoming year.
Every board should do that, I think.
Okay. Do you want to call it secretary or clerk? Secretary?
I would say clerk, because that's what it is in my town government.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Now, with that, we're okay with that change.
Okay, and special, we all are, and the other committees, we're all special employees.
Yes.
So
Committee members shall be special needs.
no problem there.
Okay? And then failure to observe any provision of this bylaw shall not affect the validity of any change in the general bylaws that has been duly adopted by vote at the town meeting. What does it say?
Yeah,
I'm
that's-
trying to, what
Yeah, me
does this
too.
mean?
failure to observe, failure to follow any of these provision of this bylaw shall not affect. Oh, that's a lot of.
It means something.
A lot of negatives.
Yeah, a lot of negatives, yeah.
It, basically, if, say, we didn't follow, say the committee didn't have a bi-monthly meeting once during the year, then that would not throw out any changes
That
that
we
have been
adopted.
adopted by the town.
Okay.
So if things had happened at town meeting and we had done something off what we've just agreed on in our committee, it doesn't negate whatever's been happening at town meeting.
And I
Yeah,
could
that
see
makes-
it being that bi-monthly
Yeah.
thing, you get to the summer, and there's nothing going on,
Yeah, okay,
and you skip a meeting, and then they say, well,
yeah.
that means everything you've done all year isn't valid.
Can we go back to 7? Sorry, I guess I'm not understanding the special municipal employees. If we have to get one more person on, that has to be somebody who's on another
No,
committee? No. What did I misunderstand?
Committee members are considered
Yeah.
municipal employees,
Right.
Okay.
even though you're a volunteer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even
Okay.
if, you don't get paid, it
Right.
doesn't matter.
Okay, so you don't have to be on another
Yeah.
committee to be on this.
Volunteer
Okay.
employee, you're a municipal employee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all
And
the
everyone-
regulations that apply
Right.
in terms of
Conflict of
ethics,
interest.
yep,
Yes.
all apply here.
yeah,
Right.
all of those things apply. But also, if we're sued, isn't there some kind of coverage or help?
Yes, you're covered by the town. As a special town employee, you're exempt from any personal
Oh.
liability. At least I believe that.
That's what
Right,
I was
Lucy?
told.
Yes, I'm trying to, yeah, yes, 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 it's all in your conflict of interest. Did anybody read the conflict of interest form?
Yes,
I hope so.
yes, and I have to redo my training.
A lot of people do. I have a list.
I know, and I'm gonna get, before you send me another reminder, I'm gonna get
I guess I may be too.
Oh, yes, dear. I have all of them broken out by board member, boards and committees.
You've
I'm
done
gonna
it,
send them
right?
to the chair.
Done it a couple
She did,
times,
Yeah, So whoever's on the list, it's, conflict of interest is due every 2 years. Open meeting law is every year. Just sign the receipt. That's why I do it every January, December, January.
No, you don't have to take a test or anything, but you have to take the ethics
a
test,
test, you do.
Yeah,
Yes.
which is not that
Yeah.
difficult.
Or if
Well,
you're
if you
new.
pick the wrong
you're
answer, they
appointed.
give you a chance to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Answer,
Let you
yeah.
do
You
it
could
again.
pick
Yeah.
3 wrong answers and they'll still give you another chance.
Okay, so let's go back to this failure to observe.
Yeah. So I think I understand that now. If the bylaw committee doesn't follow our own bylaw,
Right.
it doesn't affect anything, any bylaw changes or new bylaws that are being
Yeah.
voted on at town meeting.
Okay.
Now, is that the committee or one person?
It doesn't, well, that's
Why
interesting.
don't most of this,
Would it be, just, it's about the committee, right?
It's about-
I think it's the committee.
Okay.
and
Yeah.
I would say the one that most likely to get in difficulty, the ones, would be that the meeting,
Frequency.
Yeah, right,
like,
right, yeah.
and the quorum.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, yeah. Thank goodness we have 4 today.
Okay.
Violating our own bylaw.
Just to recap, on powers and duties, I just want to be sure, I crossed off B and I crossed off F, is
Yep.
that right?
Me
Wait,
too.
go back.
B and F we're crossing out.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
B, we took A,
Yep.
and we took D.
Oh,
Yes.
that's fine.
Now, A and
G, or,
A, C, D,
and we
E,
crossed off F.
right.
We take G, H,
I
I,
with some changes, yeah.
J,
J.
everything else was,
Yep.
Yep.
okay.
Yeah, good.
All right, so,
All right, wow.
all right, so we got this done. Is everybody happy with how this is working out?
I think so.
Yes.
Okay, so at least this is some structure.
Yep.
Yep.
And a charge. I mean, I'm glad that we didn't just stick to amendments because,
Yeah.
without
And-
additions, because that would have
Yeah.
thrown away a lot of the work that we've done up
And
to
do we
now.
think that the additions is broad enough to cover any new thing coming up. I would think
I
so,
don't think
but
so.
I
I
would think so, yeah.
hope so.
Okay, so since I have this electronically, Chris and I both, because
I think so,
Ed
yeah.
emailed, do you want to make these changes and send it back to Ed, or you want me to make the
Sure,
changes?
no, I can-
Okay, and just tell them this is our version.
Yeah.
So
And then
everything
we'll
that
ask
we
those
agreed
couple-
today, yes.
Couple questions.
The questions we're going to ask would be, who pays for the ads?
Right, for the public hearings, yeah.
In the public hearings, yes. And the fact that we're leaving it to the select board's discretion to designate terms of from among
Yes,
existing
yeah.
committee members.
Yeah.
I don't think there weren't any other questions. Oh, we added, you caught the change. No.
Well, we made some little wording changes.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, no, I think I've caught them.
Okay.
I think I did. Can I pass it to you before, or copy you as I give it to Ed?
Yeah.
How do I not violate something?
Well, if it's between two people,
Yeah.
it's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's not, you're not
It's not
sending
to
it
the
to all
whole
of us.
committee.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't send it to us.
Right.
Yeah, but I can send it
Yes.
to you first.
Yeah.
Okay, why don't I send you a draft?
Yeah.
Back on terms, I just want to be sure we're not
Yeah, I
crossing
wanted
off.
to look at this again.
Are we
too.
crossing off anything there? Because it's choices A, B, and C, right?
Yeah.
Were we supposed to cross off?
I know, were we supposed to pick?
We said, no, what we said, at least what I said, and I thought we agreed, we would just give them the list, let them designate the
Okay.
terms,
No,
Yeah.
no,
You did say
they're
that.
asking.
Right.
except for Chris.
Right, but
Terms of
Wait,
each appointment.
that's asking.
Shall be.
the initial term.
Whether you want a 3-year term, a 2-year term, or a 1-year term.
Right.
Period. Not
But we're not talking
individual.
about the okay.
So, 3, most of the committees are 3 years.
Hold on. Or until their successor
You're right, Virginia.
has been appointed and qualified.
But we still have to establish the
Yeah, right.
initial terms.
Right, we should, yeah.
That hasn't
right,
been done yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
So
but
we
in
still have to do that, and then
Then-
going forward, it would be,
Three
They
year.
would have to
Three.
decide,
Right.
but we should have 3-year terms, I
Okay.
think.
all right.
I agree with
You
that.
just don't get into it.
I agree with that. I'm good for 3
How about
years.
10 years?
Okay, so we're
No, I don't think
taking,
it's
we're
quite
taking
that
A.
long.
I mean, that's my choice, is A.
Yeah.
If you,
No, I think it's consistent really with everyone,
Everybody
Yeah.
with the other
Yeah.
committees, they're all 3-year.
Yeah, and actually, I just answered my own question. If you look down at A again, sorry, committee shall review the town's general bylaws on a regular basis to ensure their consistency with any applicable law and recommend amendments and new bylaws to the
Right,
select board. So
yeah.
that just answered my question. So yeah, I'm good with this, actually. Amazingly so, wow.
But we're talking about general bylaws, so the ones like what we just passed for recycling
Yeah.
really have to come because they're so department specific, they would be
Right.
generated by the department.
Right.
Yeah.
Zoning.
Right, right.
Okay.
and
This
a
is
lot
just
of the bylaws have our state mandates to that.
To them.
Yeah, to them,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, so I think we have it?
Yes.
And so when the two get passed that are on the warrant, the licensing one and the recycling one, assuming they get passed, do they get posted under the general bylaws or the Board of Health or whatever?
No, they'll be in our bylaws.
The general
Yeah.
bylaws.
Yeah,
I
they
get-
may
yeah.
be in the Board of Health's
Yeah.
Also,
regulations,
but-
but they'll be under our
Yeah.
general
I
bylaws.
just get confused as to
Yeah.
what rises to the general bylaw versus the departmental level. I
Yeah.
haven't understood the
Yeah.
breakdown,
Yeah.
but that's fine.
The general ones are what affects all of the population.
Mhm.
And the specific ones for,
Just more of an individual
is how
basis.
they operate, really.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Although the zoning bylaws probably, some of those ought to be more public, but I don't want to add them to the general bylaws either.
Yeah.
But that's where people get in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, would be that.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah.
Good.
Okay, I'm going to ask, though, that since we all have agreed to these changes to this document, and that we're asking Chris to make them, that we do take a vote, though, that say we're approving them with the changes that we discussed,
Yes.
and charging Chris to do that. Okay. Would someone like to make a motion?
So move.
Okay. You got that?
I'll second, yep.
Okay, second. Any more discussion?
Just writing, Virginia moved to,
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
And I'll try to get this done for the 22nd meeting? Is that what
Well, no, the reason I have November, yes, written up here, is that we're not going to do this at the October
Okay, so
22nd
it'd be
meeting.
the-
This is going to be the first meeting in November.
meeting? Okay, fine.
So we,
I think that was November 12th.
yeah, because we're trying to keep that as a,
Yeah,
we
sure.
only have an hour
yeah.
Before the town meeting.
as opposed to our usual 4.
Yeah. Really. It was only 3 last night.
What time did you get done last?
Almost 10 o'clock.
It's pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah,
9:30.
it's getting to be, yeah.
Yeah.
And I really thought last night was going to be a short meeting.
Yeah, I thought so too.
I looked at it and I
I
thought,
know, me
We all
too.
did. All of a sudden, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Then all of a
How did that
sudden.
happen?
Okay.
So, now we get to some good stuff here.
So we did 4 on our agenda.
Yeah,
Formalize the standard committee opposing an ad hoc.
we did that.
We did that. That was
Yeah.
part and parcel of that. All righty. Now we're looking to continue the bylaws and have some of them ready for the January special town
Can we
meeting.
table that till next meeting?
Okay, if you want to table that.
I would like to table, I motion to table that.
Second.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, only because we don't have Janine here. so-
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fine. All right, and then number 7, the E360.
Yes. So, did you all get the proposal that I sent?
I never
Did
saw the
Ed send-
proposal.
Oh.
No, you mentioned it, but it was, I think he had the proposal, but it wasn't
didn't
attached
open.
to the rest of us, or I didn't even see an attachment on mine, frankly.
Let me see if, well, it's not going to help.
It's
because
okay,
No one
that's
else
fine.
can see it.
Well, the proposal, they came and they sent me some proposal. I had asked Ed if there was some way that Community Compact grant could help pay for it. Because we got notification in August
That's right, yeah.
that Community Compact grants, the applications were open. In August, they got the passcode. I asked Ed if I could get the passcode. He said he was going to put an application in. They're due October 15th. And he said, what do you need? And I said, well, I'd like to propose this E360 program. And I know that I mentioned to you all that they had said $15,000 was a number, but they came down to about $3,000 because our general bylaws are only 50 pages long. So,
Good.
Wow.
and if you all want, I can make you a copy of the proposal before
Okay,
you all leave.
I can't open it
Because-
still.
Yeah, it would be good.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
sent it to me and it won't open.
Okay. All right, well, I'll make a copy.
That'd be great.
When you come down,
Okay.
we'll get it. It's an amazing, amazing, amazing program, and I'll give you everything that they gave me, and it explains, and we don't have to put all the money down first. It's a 10% over the year. And so I would like you guys to look at it, so if we can speak about this at the next meeting, I will send it to Janine too. I'll make a copy for her, and then we can go from there. I told them that we probably wouldn't be doing anything right away. If we had to ask maybe at the January special town meeting for money, if we don't get the grant, you know.
When's the application due?
It's good for 90 days, but,
No, but it's due the 15th, right?
for the grant, it's
Right.
due the 15th, but I asked him if he had started it, and I said, have you done
I know
anything?
his big priority is to do something with the server or
I know,
whatever.
I know,
But,
I
I mean,
know.
I think with this
I know.
cost being a whole lot less than we
Oh,
thought, there
yeah.
ought to be a little bit of
Yeah.
room there
Yeah.
to, because I had spoken up on it a
$3,000,
couple
yeah.
It's
select
around
board, or,
3,000,
you know, the last select board meeting, just saying I knew that this was
Yeah.
an
Now, would
idea.
we send it to them after the town approves it and before the Attorney General does it, or after the Attorney General?
After the Attorney
Okay.
General's. They told me that when we have any time that is approved by the Attorney General, that's when we send it to
Okay.
them for them to update.
Okay.
So.
And they will hold this price, because that's
Oh,
a
yeah.
whole long
Yeah.
process, I
Yes.
mean,
No,
months.
yeah.
No, we we can't even apply for the grant without it going to town meeting?
No, she's talking about the grant.
Oh,
You're
no,
talking
I'm
about the
talking
price
about
of the,
how long,
of how much.
The validity of the
$3,000.
$3,000.
And then
They
how
said-
long do we have to spend the $3,000 if this whole process
Right.
is gonna be?
She said that it doesn't become effective until we sign. So when we sign that we want to do it.
It's good
that's
for
when
90 days.
It's good after that, yeah.
For 90 days?
Yeah,
The quote is good
good
for
for
90
90
But
days,
then
yeah.
that puts us in a bind because it's going to take more than 90 days to do the
I know.
town meeting,
I
to
know.
get the Attorney
I
General.
know.
If we get the grant, then we would have, and so we asked for $3,000, we get $3,000. When we go to do it, it's $4,000. That's my concern.
Why do we have to go to the Attorney
It won't.
General for it?
Why does it have to go to the Attorney General?
What do you, what are you talking about?
Not the grant, I'm talking about using the grant money for
Okay.
its intended purpose. And if the
Right.
price is only good for 90 days,
Then you have 90 days. Why should it go to the Attorney
Yeah,
General?
what are you talking about?
No other grant has to.
no, I'm not talking about
Yeah,
that.
are you talking
I'm
about the
talking
bylaw?
about the actual bylaws.
Okay.
Oh, well, that's,
They
Because
have
this-
up until, but they have up until 90 days, but they've never
Because
taken 90
what I'm saying,
days.
getting all of this through
Right.
the hoops that we
Oh, I
have to
see.
put it through before it gets to them is longer than 90 days. So we sign something with them that says the price is good for 90 days. It takes us 360 days to get it done.
that's fine.
But isn't the 90 days just to sign on to the program?
Yeah, the
I
90
mean,
days is
once
just
you-
to sign
yeah.
on to the
Okay.
program.
You sign on the program, and then
Yeah.
you're drawing down on it as you go
Yes.
for the year,
Right,
from what you
right.
said.
And we don't have to have that in the bylaw.
No.
No,
I'm just talking about,
yeah.
You're talking about when bylaws get voted on, and then they have to go to the Attorney
Yeah.
General, and then
is the
they have
quote still
until...
good?
Yes.
Is it, or,
Because-
6 months from now, is the price going to be $4,000 and we received a grant of $3,000?
No, because this is what they quoted us for our specific type of bylaw.
For the number of pages or whatever
The
they
number of
estimate.
pages.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
And so it's more that
Yeah,
we've got
because
we've got 90 days.
Why, what are you,
If the price is good for 90 days.
But I'm hearing that to be to join into the system,
Okay.
to buy
yeah, that's
into
what
it.
it is.
I
If
see.
we don't respond until the 100th day, the price has probably changed. But if
Okay.
we make our mind up
Okay.
and do this, if we
Within
want to
90
do
days,
this,
okay.
that's
Yeah, we have
That's
90
different
days
from
to
me.
decide if we...
if we
yeah.
want to do it.
Not
Well-
exercise, not use the service.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that's true. Yeah.
And when I give you the quote, it'll be
Yeah.
much clearer to you, because they have a breakdown of everything. The representative said, if you want, I will come to a meeting, I will explain everything, I will give a demo for you about how everything works. And they are just so accommodating, and
So how
I
do
really
we-
think it's something that
Okay.
we could look into more.
How do we, given that we have a deadline though for applying for the grant,
Yeah.
and this seems like the logical grant to put it with, how do we work with Ed to get it done by the 15th? Can we do that? Can we,
That's a
I mean,
good
do we know
question.
that he's applying?
I sent him the quote, I asked him to include this program in his request. I don't know if he did, I
Yeah.
don't know, have you seen his application,
No.
grant application?
No,
Okay.
and we won't have another meeting before the
Okay.
15th
But we
for the select board.
need, we need to ask.
But question, so I just want to be clear that, because I was getting confused. So when we are applying for a grant, does that go before town meeting?
No,
No?
No.
Okay, okay.
you shouldn't have to.
No, I was just getting myself
I never
confused.
have heard of
Yeah,
them.
so we're not bound by any, by that kind of timeline. We're only bound by the October 15th one,
No.
in terms of the application deadline.
Right.
If this doesn't happen and it doesn't get included,
And then
or we
it's-
don't
right.
get funded,
Yeah.
can we come to you, to your committee?
I don't think so.
It doesn't fit?
Because it's not.
But
not
I would
preserved.
say, you've got
Capital?
this January meeting,
Yeah.
you've got free cash
Okay.
Yeah.
for the
That's where
capital
we'll be.
improvement.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
No, it
Yeah.
doesn't
it
work.
doesn't fit. Okay.
So do you want to check with Ed on that?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Unless you try to claim it's historical documents.
Do you know the name of the grant? I mean, where it's coming
It's a
from?
community compact,
Okay.
I believe. I have it written
Okay.
down. So,
All right.
and I know that he had mentioned about the software that he was looking into for that. So,
We desperately
Yeah.
need that too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Okay.
but-
Yeah,
so that's, that's where we're at right
If
now.
That's
and
great, if that price is there.
I will give you what I have, and you can look it over, and, if you have any questions, the woman will, she's from New York, she said, it's only an hour drive, I will come to one of your select board meetings if I need to, and so, and like I said, that price does not start until
you
we
sign.
actually say, yes, we want to go through
Okay,
this. So,
all right, good.
Yeah, so,
Great.
Okay, so that takes us to setting the agenda, but I just want to restate what the activities. Chris is going to do the modifications to the charge.
yeah,
You're going to produce the minutes,
yes,
and I'm going to contact Ed about including this E360
yeah.
in the grant proposal.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
due April.
Was there any other
October
next
15th.
steps? Okay. We do have to, and then I guess I sort of want to talk a little bit about the structure of the next meeting.
Yeah.
We have to produce something, the select board has now decided that they don't want to take the whole document in one fell swoop, that we will give them material as we go. So if there's a special town meeting in January, I'm thinking that we have to produce something to them by December for consideration. And then if we have to look at the schedule for May, okay?
Yeah.
Because I don't think we're going to be able to, again, present it at town meeting as one complete document. We're going to have to do it in stages because
Yeah.
this is a lot.
Yeah.
So I think at our next meeting, we need to put in some kind of,
Category.
we have to target the ones for the January meeting and target the ones for the May meeting. And hopefully, we will get everything done in those two sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah, good
Okay.
for January.
I think where all our confusion will be is over these things about, how we treat, select
Okay.
board, town clerk, whatever, so
Okay.
that'll be for maybe next meeting.
Yeah,
we can talk about that.
I can briefly talk about that, and I did bring that as well. You can take a look if we have a few minutes. This was what I shared with the select board, okay? And it has my scribbles all over it, but I presented this is what we had proposed for the treasurer collector section.
Yeah.
And then on the back of it, you can see what this is the current bylaw.
Yeah.
All right, so in this instance, I didn't get the impression that more was better. I think less was what they're looking for. But, I didn't see it this way, but listening to people's comments, they felt it was more like a job description
Yeah,
than
I
it
agree.
was. So we need to go back, and I'm just doing the short version here, we're not going to do it today, but just to bring everybody up to speed, we need to go back to the ones that we worked on, and in looking to the ones that we still want to produce, to not overstate or not go into so much detail, but to have some broader parameters. I hope certainly it will be more than one sentence, okay?
Right.
Because this says nothing to me.
Right.
Yeah,
This says too much.
Yeah.
yeah.
So we need to, somewhere between the two.
Well, and
Yeah.
I think your comment, your words right on top. I mean, it's the policy focus versus a job description.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Right.
it's the reason for being rather than what they do.
What they do, yes. So the reason for being, exactly.
I agree.
So that's going forward. I mean, it should make our job a little bit easier.
Yeah.
So we'll backtrack a little bit, but not
Yeah.
too bad.
Lots of- Okay?
Yeah.
So
I agree.
that takes care of everything. Now we all know the same thing. Brings us to scheduling the next meeting.
Yeah, I'm going downstairs, so.
Yeah, there's a lot of things here that can come out.
Yeah, I started scratching some of them out, but we'll do that together. I mean, that's going to be the easy part.
Yeah.
The ones to whittle down the ones that we have.
Right.
It's the other ones.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you want to look at?
2 weeks from now would be the 17th.
Ooh,
That's the, no, you get the, there's a certain event for the Council of Aging that day.
Right, and then in the morning is the open meeting
Yes,
training.
and I would really hope that people can come to that
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's Michelle Randazzo and it's free. It's,
Yeah, and
you know,
at night is the moderator's info for the
Yes.
town meeting, so
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that day is not gonna work.
Yeah.
Can we pick a different day of that week, or?
I'm okay with the 15th, if anybody else can do
the
the,
which?
Tuesday, the 15th.
Oh, I only have 3 things on that
Okay.
day now.
How about, well, are
Wednesday?
we closed on Columbus Day?
Yes.
Well, that takes care of that.
How about the 16th, Wednesday?
The 16th would work,
I can do.
Wednesday, the 16th?
From 2 to 4 is fine.
You want to keep
That's
it at
fine,
2?
yep.
Sounds-
Is 2 okay with you?
It's
With
fine.
you all?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, so
So-
bylaws.
16th at 2 o'clock?
Uh-huh.
The open meeting thing on the 17th, what are the hours on that?
10,
It's 10 to 11, right?
10 to 11, yeah.
It was just 1 hour.
She said it will only take me an hour unless people have some serious questions, so.
All right, so
Yeah.
Chris, I'm going to call.
I've done before,
This-
this could be a conflict.
All right.
Okay.
So, I guess I need to ask, is there anything else people want to bring up? Okay,
What about another member?
that's a good point.
We need to think about
Yes,
another
we do.
member.
We need to get,
Yeah,
how do we
I
find
mean,
people?
yeah.
You know, it might be worth making sure that the public knows that we need a member and seeing who might come forward.
Maybe
There might be
website.
somebody that,
Yeah.
oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, the next select board meeting is,
Not till
it's a
the
small
22nd,
one,
yeah.
it's the 22nd. So it would have to go, I mean,
Could
we
we
can
put-
talk about it on the 22nd. We can also announce it at the next select board meeting, which is November,
Yeah,
We could put something out on the Southampton Community
November
website.
12th.
Yeah, the website,
Southampton Community Facebook page.
Facebook
Okay.
page, the website, yeah.
there could be somebody that kind of really likes doing that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Do we have could we think of a sentence or two to describe what we do? You know, or
You
the
know,
kind
one
of,
of the things on the street list,
Yeah.
isn't there occupations listed?
Yeah,
That's a
Yeah.
good way to kind of target people.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yes.
Good point.
Yeah,
I do have a
I
street
mean,
list.
we don't
Yeah.
need necessarily, lawyers and judges,
right,
but they would
Yeah.
be helpful, but I mean,
yeah.
but there are other people's backgrounds,
They've done some
like
administration.
organization,
Yeah, yeah,
administration,
yeah.
stuff like that.
Good look through them.
We could look
at that, yeah.
peruse that
Yeah.
as one way.
Yeah, well, how about if on the 16th you, maybe get the word out on the Southampton community page. I
Through
don't know.
Tammy.
Yeah, through Tammy. And then put something on the website, maybe Art can put something, I don't know. And then at the October 16th meeting, you bring the street list, or I'll bring the street
Yeah.
list. And we can maybe look
Take a
through
look
there, I
at it.
don't know.
Sure.
You know,
Okay, so website,
it needs to be someone
Community
that's free
page.
during the
Yeah.
day.
right,
Yeah, so we'd have to have someone who's free in the afternoons
Yeah.
or
Right.
free during the day.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So daily, daytime meetings, not.
yeah.
And there are people
Yeah.
that work other hours
Right.
that are working that
Right.
might be
So
interested.
people that, have an interest in, or people that have experience in writing policy or not necessarily?
Municipal.
Yeah.
No,
I
not
don't want to narrow it too much,
Yeah,
but I mean,
yeah.
organization and administration,
yeah.
There you go.
I think
Yep,
Yeah.
would do it. So October
Yeah.
16th. All right,
okay, sounds good.
so do you currently have a list? I hate to have you.
No, I do. I have the list. I got
If not, I have,
Yeah, I know, but we burned so many trees with the paper. You have a list.
I have
Yeah,
one, yeah,
okay.
okay, so,
Yeah.
You
yeah.
could do that.
And I think I could post on the Southampton thing. I
Good.
don't have to get Tammy.
Oh,
I mean,
okay, good.
I post photos there, so
oh,
Okay,
okay.
I'll see what I
All
can.
right.
all
I
right.
don't know how many times I go to that to look for things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Robert's newsletter.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Yes, Robert's newsletter.
Okay.
I mean, we can put stuff on
getting the word
bulletin
out,
board.
because Jonathan was a referral by
Yeah.
Cindy Palmer, who knew him
Right.
in another
Right.
capacity,
Right.
which was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have like I said, I have that listing of the boards and committees, so maybe I can come up with a list. I mean, there are some openings of different boards and committees that are coming out.
Well, we
Maybe
can
put something on the
consolidate-
bulletin board and
Yeah.
have something up like,
That's
you know,
probably a good
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
'Cause there's-
Because, well, conservation
Yeah.
needs to,
conservation.
I don't know what finance is like these days, if they're full or not.
I think there's
There's
missing-
enough.
Okay.
Well, they're missing one.
They're
Yeah.
missing one, I think.
Oh, housing authority needs
Yeah.
one. I mean, that's elected, but it could be appointed for now. And
Would be better to sort of put up a list of what's
yeah,
missing,
yeah,
just so people have a
Yeah.
thought about it.
yeah. I'll go through the list that I have and come up with.
And maybe somehow, whether it's Ed or somebody, we make a pitch at special town meeting. I mean, we can,
Yeah.
we've got a captive
Well, if
audience.
Robert lets us, if he allows us to do
Well, if he
that,
allows,
Yeah.
there we
that
go.
becomes
Yeah,
the
that's-
issue.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, unless he can announce it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
He can make an announcement, because he has made announcements
Yeah.
before. So,
I mean, that would be,
yeah.
maybe an idea.
Or
Yeah.
Do you want
something.
to-
But I think having it together with, the whole list.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what I mean,
vacancies
yeah.
would
But having a list of
Yeah.
that, and we've got a group of
There's
people
another
there.
I'll
vacancy
look
on
into
the
that.
Board of Health.
Yeah.
Or will be.
Well, yeah.
We think, yeah.
Look into the
Another one?
We were told that Sharon, is her last name Hart?
Yeah.
Was resigning. I don't know that she resigned yet, but that
Haven't
was
gotten
in
anything yet, yeah.
the chair of the.
There was an
Board of Health told
indication
us.
that, yeah, it was
There's something
forthcoming.
else going on, isn't there, in her life? Like, is she the one that's moving out of town or something?
I don't know.
I
I have no clue.
I knew someone on something who was moving out of
Will you
town.
catch up with Robert then? or-
Yes. All right, so I'll ask Robert about, if we give him a list of, if
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
give him a list of vacancies, will he make an announcement at town meeting?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
could he also include it in the
In the
newsletter?
Right.
newsletter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we'll get the full list.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
And if he doesn't want to do that, at least ask him just to make it. If there are some openings, check on the
Town website or something.
Right.
town
Yeah.
website.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll do Ed and Robert,
Okay.
okay?
All right.
Very good.
I'll
And
work on the
we're
minutes,
scheduled
get
for the
them.
16th.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
My
so-
motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
At 3:21.
All in favor?
All in
Aye.
favor. Aye.
Okay, adjourn at
What is it?
3:20.
3:18.
18.
If I want to get something to Ed, does he have a mailbox someplace?
Yeah, he has them in the break room.